They say Chinedu Okafor was the most honest transporter in all of Onitsha. His lorry never arrived late. His manifest was always correct. Every crate, every bag, every carton accounted for. So when they found his final waybill, nobody could explain why the last line was written in blood, but that was before everything went wrong. If you are new here, welcome. This channel tells the stories your elders whispered and your parents refused to finish. Subscribe and stay close, because this one will follow you home. Chinedu was not a rich man, but he was a respected one. In the mornings, you would find him at the Onitsha motor park before the sun had fully decided to rise. His faded blue lorry already loaded, his boys tying ropes around market women's goods with the kind of care that made mothers trust him. He had a wife, Adaeze, a quiet woman with a gap in her front teeth and a laugh that made strangers feel they had known her all their lives. They had 2 children, a boy, Emeka, 7 years old, with his father's serious eyes, and a girl, Chisom, 4, who still sucked her finger when she thought nobody was watching. They lived in a modest compound on Oka Road, unpainted fence, 1 mango tree in the yard, a generator that started on the 3rd pool if you were patient, and on the 1st pool if you were not in a hurry. They were not wealthy, but they had peace, and peace, the elders say, is the wealth that thieves cannot carry. But something was not right. It started small, the way things that will destroy you always start small. Adaeze noticed it first. She was not the type of woman to gossip, but she was the type to observe, and what she observed was this. Every Thursday evening, without fail, Chinedu would drive his lorry out alone. No boys, no cargo manifest, no explanation. He would return before midnight, smelling of the road and of something else, something older, like wet earth and burnt feathers. When she asked, he would smile, touch her face. Spare parts, he would say. I went to get spare parts. She would nod, but her hands, beneath the wrapper she held to her chest, would be trembling, and that was only the beginning. By the following dry season, things had changed. Chinedu bought a 2nd lorry, then a 3rd. He built a new fence around the compound, this time painted white. He opened a small office near the motor park with his name on the door in bold letters, Chinedu Okafor and Sons Logistics. He bought Adaeze a sewing machine. He paid Emeka's school fees 6 months in advance. The compound women celebrated. The market women praised God. Pastor Uchenna called Chinedu a testimony, but Mama Ngozi, who sold akara by the motor park gate and had been there since before some of those women were born, Mama Ngozi said nothing. She just watched, and when people spoke about Chinedu's sudden blessing, she would look down at her frying pan and say very quietly, "When the iroko tree grows too fast, check the roots." Nobody listened. They never do. The waybill was the thing that should have warned them. A waybill in the transport business is a document. It lists what is being carried, where it is going, who sent it, who will receive it. Chinedu kept every waybill from every journey in a locked metal box under his bed. Adaeze had seen it 100 times. It was ordinary, except that once, just once, she had noticed that the box smelled wrong. Not of paper, not of oil or dust from the road. It smelled of something she could only describe as the air inside a room where someone has been sick for a very long time. She had never opened it. She told herself it was because she trusted her husband. But the truth was that she was afraid of what she might find, and things got worse. It was Emeka who found the old man. The child had been playing near the mango tree one evening when a figure appeared at the gate, a very old man, thin as the shadow of a stick, wearing a long grey kaftan that had seen too many harmattans. He had no shoes, his toenails were long, his eyes, When he looked at Emeka, were the color of river water after rain, brown and unclear and full of things that could not be seen. "Your father," the old man said in Igbo, "tell him Onoha has come. Tell him the agreement has entered its final year." Emeka ran inside and told his mother. Adaeze rushed to the gate. The old man was gone. When she told Chinedu that evening, she watched his face. She had loved that face for 11 years. She knew every expression it could make, but the expression it made in that moment, she had never seen before. It was not fear. It was something older than fear. It was the look of a man who had known for a very long time that a thing was coming and had spent all his energy pretending it was not. He said nothing. He stood up, went to the bedroom and locked the door. That night, he did not sleep. Mama Agbata was the kind of woman people called Mama even though she had no children of her own. She lived at the edge of the community, in a house that seemed to crouch rather than stand, and she knew things, not the things you learned in school or church, the other things, the things passed down in whispers during the third week of mourning when the family has stopped watching who is listening. She came to Adaeze on a Tuesday morning, uninvited, carrying nothing but a small brown envelope. "Your husband," she said, sitting down before Adaeze offered her a seat, "made an agreement at a junction, not a road junction, the other kind." Adaeze's mouth was dry. What kind of agreement? The kind written on paper that no lawyer can read. Mama Agbata placed the brown envelope on the table. He used the waybill. They always use something familiar, something the person trusts. He signed his name, and in exchange for 7 years of open roads and full cargo and no police trouble and no accident. She stopped. "In exchange for what?" Adaeze whispered. Mama Agbata looked at her with the eyes of someone delivering news that cannot be taken back. The 7th year waybill requires a final delivery, something living, something that shares his blood. The generator outside chose that exact moment to go off. The room fell into thick breathing darkness. What happened next changed everything. Chinedu came home that night to find his wife sitting in the parlor with the lights out and the metal box open on the table. She had broken the lock with the kitchen knife. Inside the box were waybills, dozens of them, every journey for 7 years. But the last one, the most recent one, dated 3 weeks ago, was different. The cargo column, where he always wrote what was being transported, had only 2 words: final delivery. And the recipient's name was not a business. It was not an address. It was written in a language Adaeze did not recognize, but below it, unmistakably, in her husband's handwriting, were 2 names: Emeka Chisholm. She looked up at her husband. He was standing in the doorway. He had been crying, perhaps for hours. "Nay," he said. His voice was broken. "I was going to find a way out." "There is no way out," she said. "Is there?" It was not a question. He leaned against the doorframe and slid slowly to the ground. A man who had carried lorries full of cargo for 7 years, now unable to carry himself. "I was young," he said. "We had nothing. Emeka was sick. The hospital bills." "Don't," she said. "Don't tell me why. Tell me how to stop it." He shook his head slowly. "Mama Agbata," Adaeze said, standing. She said there is always a counter agreement. If the original signer confesses before the final waybill is delivered, the contract breaks. Chinedu looked up. "How do you know that?" "Because Mama Agbata is the one who told your grandfather the same thing 30 years ago." The silence that followed was the kind of silence that has weight. "Chinedu," Adaeze's voice did not shake. "You are going to confess tomorrow at the junction." He stared at her for a long moment. Then he nodded. They found him at the junction the next morning. He had gone alone in the night without telling her. Perhaps he thought he was protecting her. Perhaps he thought he was brave. The lorry was parked at the side of the road, engine still running. Chinedu was seated in the driver's seat, both hands on the steering wheel, eyes open. He was not breathing. On the seat beside him was a waybill. The cargo column was empty. The delivery had been cancelled. But in the space where the recipient's name should have been, someone or something had written a single line. He paid with himself instead. The children are released. If you have stayed with this story until now, then you understand what it costs to love someone more than you love your own life. Emeka and Chisom grew up. They are fine. They do not know everything. But Emeka, who is now a man, has never once been late to deliver anything he promised. Some people say it is discipline. His mother knows it is something else entirely. The metal box is still in the compound. Nobody has opened it again. And on Thursday evenings, when the sun begins to go down and the motor park grows quiet, there are those who swear they can still hear the sound of a lorry engine somewhere in the distance, getting closer and then stopping. Like this story if it stayed with you. Share it with someone who loves mystery. And in the comments, tell me, would you have done what Chinedu did? Because some roads you can never undrive.